Chapter 1. The Boy Who Wasn't a Warrior. Kael had never held a weapon in his life. In the village of Eldmere, where boys were given swords before they could walk and trained to fight before they could read, Kael was an outcast. His hands were calloused from the plow, not the hilt of a blade. His father, a farmer, had died in a border skirmish he had no business fighting in, leaving Kael with nothing but a patch of land and a mother who wept in silence. The other boys mocked him. Kael the coward, they called him. Kael the plowman. He ignored them, tending to his fields, pretending he didn't hear the whispers. War was coming. The northern raiders, the Vortha, had burned 3 villages already. Eldmere would be next. The warriors sharpened their blades. The women and children prepared to flee. And Kael, he had no place in either group. Until she arrived. Chapter 2. The Girl with the Spear. She came at dusk, a shadow slipping between the trees. Kael saw her first, a girl no older than him, with dark hair matted with blood and eyes like flint. She moved like a hunted thing, her breath ragged, her body trembling. But in her hands she carried a spear. Not just any spear. It was black as midnight, its shaft carved with runes that glowed faintly like embers in the dark. The blade was curved, wicked, humming with something ancient. Kael froze. She saw him. For a heartbeat, neither moved. Then she stumbled forward and thrust the spear into his hands. "Take it," she gasped. Kael nearly dropped it. The weapon was heavier than it looked, humming against his skin like a living thing. What? You have to use it," she said. "You have to fight." He shook his head. "I'm not a warrior." She grabbed his wrist, her grip iron. "You are now." Then she collapsed. Chapter 3. The Burden of the Spear. Her name was Lyra. She was the last of her people, the Ilari, a tribe of warriors who had guarded the spear of Vanya for centuries. The Vortha had slaughtered them all, seeking the weapon. Lyra had escaped barely. And now she had given the spear to him. Kael stared at it, his stomach churning. "Why me?" Lyra, weak from blood loss, met his gaze. "Because the spear chooses who wields it. And it chose you." Kael wanted to laugh. The idea was absurd. He was no hero. He couldn't even hold a sword properly. But the spear hummed in his grip, warm, almost alive. And outside, the horns of the Vortha sounded. Chapter 4. The First Blood. The village was in chaos. Homes burned. Women screamed. Children ran. The Vortha warriors, clad in black furs and iron masks, cut through Eldmere's defenders like wheat. Kael stood frozen at the edge of the fight, the spear trembling in his hands. "Run," his mind screamed. But then he saw them. A Vortha warrior dragging a child by the hair. A mother begging. Blade rising. Something inside Kael snapped. He didn't remember moving. One moment he was standing there. The next, the spear was in the Vortha's throat. The warrior crumpled. The child scrambled away. Kael stared at his hands. The blood. The spear pulsed, as if in approval. Lyra was right. He was a warrior now. Chapter 5. The Rise of the Unlikely Hero. Word spread fast. Kael, the boy who had never fought, had killed a Vortha raider with a single strike. The village elders didn't believe it, until they saw him train. The spear moved like an extension of his body. It guided him, taught him, as if the spirits of every warrior who had ever wielded it whispered in his ear. Lyra watched, her wounds healing slowly. "It's awakening in you," she said. Kael didn't understand. But he didn't need to. The Vortha were coming in force. And he was the only one who could stop them. Chapter 6. The Final Stand. The battle came at dawn. Hundreds of Vortha descended upon Eldmere. Kael stood at the gates, the spear blazing in his hands. Lyra fought beside him, her own blade flashing. "Remember," she said, "the spear doesn't make you a warrior." "You do." Kael nodded. Then he charged. The spear sang. The Vortha fell. Blood. Fire. Screams. Kael fought like a man possessed, the spear guiding him through every strike, every parry. He was no longer a farmer. No longer a coward. He was more. And when the Vortha warlord came for him, black axe raised, Kael met him without fear. The clash shook the earth. The warlord fell. The Vortha broke. Chapter 7. The Aftermath. Silence. The village was saved. The Vortha fled. Kael stood amidst the carnage, the spear still humming in his grip. Lyra approached, her face streaked with dirt and blood. "You did it." Kael exhaled. "No. We did." She smiled faintly. Then her gaze fell to the spear. "It's yours now. The Ilari are gone. But their legacy lives on in you." Kael looked at the weapon, his weapon, and finally understood. He had never been a warrior. Until she gave him the chance to become one. Epilogue. Years later, they still told stories of Kael the Spearborn, the farmer who became a legend, the boy who saved a people not his own, and the girl who believed in him before he ever did. And though the spear was lost to time, its legacy remained. For sometimes the greatest warriors are not born. They are made.